We're so glad you're here and you're taking a proactive approach to your health. For this workout, you will need a towel nearby. Let's begin your Pilates core and lower body workout. To begin, lay down on your back with your knees slightly bent. We'll be starting with your left arm by your ear on the floor, so that arm is up. Then we're going to start to alternate, switching out those arms. So trying to reach the hand all the way to the floor above you and to the floor near your hip. Just switching out those arms, feeling your shoulder blades against the floor. We do have your low back against the floor and your neck is completely relaxed. We're going to be adding on to this exercise in just a moment, so just feel how this is with the neck and the shoulders, warming them up. And now we're going to hold with that left arm up. Look over to that shoulder, over to that arm, gently with the neck, then bring that head back to the ceiling, and then we'll switch out those arms again. Once the arms are there, then look over to that arm, and then look back to the ceiling, and then switch the arms again. So it's very step by step here, making sure that that arm is in place before you look there and back to the ceiling. You should feel a gentle stretch on the neck, a release through the shoulders, and just switch at your own pace. We're gonna do one more time. Well done. All right, let's stand up. We're gonna go into our back extension. This is a great warm-up, teaching back extension with core activation. So first we're gonna place the hands on the back, kind of on the glutes and the low back. I want you to squeeze the cheeks here, so that's number one. Then you're gonna lengthen through the top of your head, that's number two. Then you're gonna start to open up your chest towards the ceiling. This will create your back extension, that little bit of a bend. So we're holding this position. Squeeze your cheeks, keep those abs strong, lengthening through the top of your head and keeping that chest open, shoulders down and back. So the length here reminds us that we shouldn't feel a crunching in your low back at all. That's not what we're going for. We're going through strength, for strength and stability through your core, as we also open up the front of your body, but also getting that back extension that we'll be using later on in the exercises to come. So keep holding here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Now we'll be moving into your balance challenge. Feel free to move next to a wall in case you need it. And we're gonna start with one foot on the ground, pick up the other leg. That foot will start by gripping into the ground. So we're already working from the foot, and then we're gonna squeeze the front of your leg, activate the back side of the leg and the cheek of that stabilizing leg. And that's gonna help you stay very active here, working on your balance. Your core is on. Now feel free to always use the wall if you need it. The arms can help a little bit, but I don't want you to be airplaning around to where you are trying to not catch yourself in case you need it. That free leg is there, kind of acting as a kickstand in case you need it. Keep yourself safe while we're doing this. This is challenging, so just do what you can. Keeping yourself upright. 2, 1, and rest there. Now we're switching legs. So same thing, we start by gripping that foot into the floor. Ready, begin. Foot is active. Front of the leg is turned on, back of the leg is turned on, and that cheek is turned on. So all of those muscles are working to really stabilize you, and it's like it's connecting you to the ground. Your core is on. That's a big part of your balance, of stability. Also, just finding a small place on the wall or the floor to stare at also helps. That's a little trick that you can remember. And just do what you can. This will get better the more that you practice it. So just keep working here and know that this is active. That you need to be working those muscles to be able to strengthen this balance. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Next, we'll be moving into a couple roll downs. This should feel really relaxing. So you're just gonna start by tucking your chin, let the top of your head and your arms become very heavy, and we start to roll down towards the floor. Releasing your neck, releasing your back. Then you're gonna use those abs to start to roll yourself back up. So active abs, and we build our nice tall posture to the top. Again and again, so tucking the chin, the top of the head kind of rolls down, facing the floor, releasing your arms as you move here. And when you're ready, your abs pull you back up. So it's like you're building your posture with your abs. Great job. We're gonna go one more time, and then we're moving into a plank position. So we're rolling down, still enjoying this release in your back and your neck. Now we're gonna get those hands to the floor, and you're gonna start to walk out into a plank position. So your abs should already be anticipating work here. Hands stop directly underneath your shoulders. And we've got this nice long body. Your core is on. Now if you do need to modify, feel free to put the knees to the floor as long as you're keeping your body long. So let's show them what the knees look like on the floor. So she still has a nice long body here. Her hips aren't way up in the air here. 2, 1, and rest. Good work. All right, now we're gonna go onto your stomach. So with this one, a lot like our warm-up with our back extension, we need to be turning on the muscles that also support the back. So let's place those hands directly underneath your shoulders. We're gonna squeeze your cheeks. Then you're gonna lengthen through the top of your head, lengthening through the body. Now we're gonna pick up that chest away from the floor, and those hands will also lift off the ground. And then extend those arms out, kind of near your ears. And then you're gonna pull those hands right back underneath your shoulders, and then I want you to rest back down. Okay, so that's our first rep. So squeeze the cheeks, lengthen through your body, pick up the chest, extend those arms, it makes it harder. Bring them back down underneath the shoulders and rest back down. Your abs are also on through this entire exercise. And again, so you're just moving through this repetition at your own pace, but there's steps that need to be taken. Your glutes need to be turned on, those cheeks squeeze. Your abs are on, you're thinking of the length through your body. Your eyes are not looking up at the wall, they're looking at the ground, so we have a long neutral neck. And we're gonna release here, good work. Rolling onto your back, we're gonna move into bridge. So with bridge, we wanna make sure that your heels are pressing into the floor. We're gonna be working the cheeks here, so pelvic tuck, and begin, we bridge up and down. So we're focusing on the back side of the body here, the hamstrings, which are the back sides of the legs, the cheeks, they're squeezing to the top. We keep our pelvic tuck, so we have a little bit of core activation. We're keeping your back safe, even though that's also strengthening at the same time here. It is okay to feel the tops of your legs, your quads, but they shouldn't be the dominant muscle mover here. We want to make sure that we've got more on that back side working. Pressing through your heels will definitely help you feel that back side of the legs working. If you are having a hard time pressing through those heels, make sure that the feet are far enough away from your body. Keeping your neck relaxed, your head on the floor, and relax, good work. We'll be moving into some ab work. So from here, I want you to pull the knees towards your chest. Those hands will kind of hug into the knees. What we'll do here is extend the legs away from the body and those arms away from the legs, and then they'll pull back in. So this is all ab work, and begin. So you're gonna be keeping your low back pressed into the floor. Those abs are strong. And the lower the legs go, the harder this becomes. So if you're not quite ready for how low Shelley's going, you can always take those legs a little bit more to the ceiling, because I need to make sure that you're able to keep that low back on the floor, that your abs are strong enough to protect your low back. Breathe here. So usually on the opening, we inhale, and then on the exhale, we close it back up. Keeping your neck down or your head down, your neck relaxed. And this is some pretty intense ab work, so do what you can here. Stay at your own pace. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good work. We'll be going into knee drops next. So this is also some abdominal work, where we're gonna be focusing a little bit more on the sides of your waistline. We're gonna take the legs into a tabletop position, and then those arms are gonna open up like a T. So we wanna keep your shoulders pinned to the floor and your neck stays relaxed. We're gonna let the knees drop over to one side. Ready, begin. So they drop, and then we pull them back to center, and then to the other side. So you're alternating your sides. The trick here is that you are using your abdominals to be able to pick up the weight of your legs as you move side to side without letting the shoulders come up off the ground. Otherwise, we're just dropping to one side and then the other without the control that we need from our core. So you're gonna feel a stretch through your waistline, and then it's that side, that oblique, that has to pick up the weight of the legs to bring you back to center. It's like you're trying to pull that low back down into the floor. Alternating sides, again, keeping your neck relaxed and we're not working through that upper body, we're just pinning it down. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good work. Now we're gonna focus a little bit more on the legs, but we still have our abdominals turned on. So let's take those legs straight up to the ceiling. This is called scissor legs. So we're gonna be working inner and outer thighs. To begin, you're gonna open those legs out wide, and then when you bring them back together, they're gonna cross, and then reopen. So just creating this pattern for yourself, open those legs as much as you can. You should feel a stretch through the inner thigh. If you need to modify, you can always bend the knees. That's perfectly fine. And we're also keeping your core on by pressing your low back into the floor, belly button down into the floor. And you should start to feel the inner and outer thighs working here. Keep your neck relaxed and just keep on breathing. This is a really nice one for shaping the legs. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. Now we're going to go into what's called ab marching. So focusing on the lower part of these abs, we're going to take the legs into a tabletop position, head stays down, and we are going to alternate tapping one toe to the floor and then switch. So as we go here, again, we're keeping the core stable, tight, strong, pressed down into the floor the entire time. The farther the foot reaches from the body, the more difficult this becomes. Now, if you do need a modification, a great way to do that is to take both feet to the floor and then just alternate picking up one leg at a time here. So if that's a break that you need to take or a modification you need to stay in, that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, we're in the tabletop position. So just making sure we do feel abs here. We're not working from the legs. This is a great skill in learning that isolation for your lower half of the abs, really keeping those working here. In 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good, now we're gonna roll onto your side for some side laying work. So keeping your head and shoulders relaxed, and we're gonna be working the hip here. First, stabilize your core. Now we're gonna be rainbowing the leg. So first to the front, we're gonna tap the toe to the front, rainbow it to the back, and begin. So as big as motion as you can here, but we need to make sure that your core is stabilizing. So your hip's not rocking front to back here. You have complete stabilization, strength here as we're working the hip, as we're working that leg. The leg stays nice and long. We have control. The foot's not just plopping to the ground. It's a very quiet tap as we keep constant control and lengthening through that leg as we move front to back. Making sure to also squeeze the cheek as you come to the back. Make this active as possible. Keep your neck relaxed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now we're gonna move up and over to the other side. Getting your upper body relaxed, core is turned on, and let's begin. Front to back, rainbowing this leg. Very smooth transition, front to back, working through the hip, but stabilizing through the core. We're not wobbling around. It is perfectly fine to keep that top hand in front of you on the ground like that. That's gonna help a little bit with stability. Totally fine to do that. Keep pointing through the toe. Nice quiet tap, front to back. Make this as big as you can. Really challenge yourself, front to back. Squeeze the cheek back here. We're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Moving into crunches. So you're gonna be laying on your back. Knees will stay bent, and we're gonna take the hands behind your head. So with this one, we wanna make sure your abs are always on. So I'll be cueing for that. And we wanna try to pull just the shoulder blades off the ground. Ready, begin. So beginning that crunch, trying to get those shoulder blades up off the ground the best that you can. We are crunching with your abs and not your neck. So the weight of your head should be completely released into your hands. And also remember, on that exhale, when we crunch up, our abs are on, but on the inhale, on the lower, we keep those abs engaged. So there's really no rest here. Those abs stay on the entire time through this range of motion. So do the best that you can. We're constantly pressing that low back into the floor. Keep your neck relaxed. It does help to be able to tuck the chin, but take rest as you need to as well. Keep breathing through this. Exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down, and we have 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good work. Okay, now we're gonna sit up. And for this one, just in case you're a little extra tight, feel free to sit on a towel or even a backless chair if you're really having a hard time keeping the legs straight or you feel a lot of stretch or rounding in your back. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. So what we're gonna be doing here is a hinge. So I need you to be able to scoop your abs and round your back. So this way we're putting the work into your core. And we're gonna be working in the hardest part of our sit-up. Ready, begin. So it's just this little teetering, just a couple inches front to back. We're working your abdominals. We do need to keep a little bit of a rounded back because remember that keeps the work in the front of the abs instead of your back. So those abs are always crunched in that crunch position with your belly button pulling back the whole time. If you need to modify a little bit, feel free to always bend the knees. You can bring the feet on the floor a little bit more. Otherwise, keep those legs straight if you feel fine here. Breathe here, keep those shoulders down. If those abs are shaking a little bit, that's a great sign that you're working the right muscles. And just keep on doing the best that you can here. We're almost done. This is a hard one, very isolated to your abs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good work. Next, we're gonna be moving into rotation. This works the sides of your waist a little bit more. Again, we'll keep the legs straight, but feel free to modify by sitting up on something or even a backless chair again if you need it. Let's start with those arms straight out to your side. We wanna make sure your shoulders stay down at all times. We're gonna go into rotation. Ready, begin. So as you rotate, make sure you're looking where you're going. This is gonna help increase the range of motion we're working through. And it's also gonna give you that little extra work, that little extra tightening through the sides as we squeeze out your air. So exhale as you're twisting, try to inhale back to center. So exhale is like you're wringing out all of your air, really squeezing into your midline, creating that smaller waistline. You're doing a great job. Just try to keep your shoulders as relaxed as possible, keeping the work just into your core. Keep those legs as relaxed as possible. You have 10 seconds left. Keep doing what you're able to do. Move in the range of motion that you can. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job. We're gonna be moving into a side plank, so you'll be setting up on your elbow for this. So keeping your bottom shoulder safe is very important here. No pain through that shoulder. We wanna make sure your alignment's correct. Elbow directly underneath your shoulder, and then we press that shoulder into the floor. Then we have our bottom knees kind of lined up here in a nice straight line. We're gonna lift the hip. Ready, begin. So here we're gonna advance this just a little bit by lifting and lowering the hip. So this creates some extra work on this bottom side of the oblique. We've just worked those obliques in rotation, and now we've got a little bit more work here with working against gravity, moving up and down. This is too advanced. Just hold your position in our side plank. Great job. But this little hip lift really makes all the difference. Go forward if you can. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nice work. We're gonna switch sides. So remember, our shoulder safety, correct alignment is very important. No shoulder pain as we work here. Ready, and we lift and add those little hip lifts if you're ready for that. So just checking in with your upper body all the time, making sure that your shoulders are stacked. We have an open chest as we work here, and we're really working from this bottom side. You might even be feeling a little bit of the hip, and that's perfectly fine. Do what you can here, always checking in with your form to make sure that that's correct. And just keep breathing. This is a great one for toning up those love handles. So we're getting that right now. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Laying all the way onto your side, we're gonna go back to some leg work. So we want your neck and head rested. This is called a passe. So what we're gonna be doing is pulling this top foot to the knee. The knee aims up to the ceiling. Then we extend the leg, bend the knee once again, and we press right back out nice and long. All right, ready, begin. Bend, extend, bend, and lengthen. So this is all about that hip, that inner and outer thigh. We're getting a great range of motion, so this is also an active stretch for this leg. We do have your core on. Remember, we don't want to have like a whole lot of movement through this hip because we always have stability here through the core as we're working this lower half. This should feel really nice. Keeping that stretch through the leg, really trying to lengthen it to the ceiling is a fantastic stretch as we're also strengthening the leg and the hip. Just work within the range of motion that's natural for you. Don't force anything. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Moving on to this exercise, now we're gonna have both legs long, they're stuck together. You're gonna roll back on your hip just a smidge. We're working from our top oblique now. So we're gonna pick up the weight of our legs with this muscle here. Ready? Begin. So straight legs up and down. It is okay to use this top arm for a little bit of leverage, a little bit of stability here. And you are working your core very intensely by picking up these legs. You're looking good. Try to keep them stuck together, keeping those legs long. Breathe through this. Make sure you're not using your neck to lift these legs. Remember, we're isolating here. It's our core that's working right now. Doing a fantastic job. Take rest as you need to. Almost there. Keeping those legs stuck together is also working your hip and your inner thigh. Getting a lot of muscles in right now. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Let's give that top leg a rest. So you're just gonna pull that knee in front, relax it down. Now let's work this inner thigh of the bottom leg. The leg stays long, and you're gonna start to lift and lower this leg. Ready, begin. So again, let's just check in with this upper body. Relaxed, it's comfortable, and we are just working this inner thigh right here. Make sure that the foot, the side of the foot or the heel is pumping directly up towards the ceiling. That is gonna make sure that we're at the correct angle here to really get that inner thigh to be working. It is important you keep the legs strong and long through this exercise. Be very intentional with this lift. We're not flopping around. We're intentionally strengthening this inner thigh right now. You might even feel a little bit of your abs working, and that's a great thing too. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Okay, we're gonna be switching sides. So all that work now for the other side. So remember to keep your upper body as relaxed as possible, so get that right first. Now we're gonna be working our passe, so that nice, beautiful leg work. Ready, and begin. We bend the knee, lengthen it to the ceiling, bend and straighten back out. So just moving at your own pace here. You're gonna move within your own range of motion as well. This is a great active stretch as we're also working the hip, the inner and outer thigh, a little bit of the core. Pointing the toe kind of helps with this one, but just feel free to keeping that ankle and that foot as relaxed as possible. The work really should be coming more from that hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're gonna have those legs stuck together, and we're working more from the side of the core here. Ready? Begin. Lift and lower. So it's okay that that hip dropped back a little bit more. That's perfectly fine. You are putting a little bit of pressure on that lower hip, but remember, we're trying to work from here to be able to pick up the weight of your legs. So we're just focusing here on that core. You've got your upper body relaxed. Legs are squeezing together. That's adding a little bit of work here, inner and outer thighs. Doing such a great job. Rest as you need it. Just keep checking in with your form and breathe through this one. There's no easy task. We are really working that, again, that love handle area right now. Length through the legs. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's let that top leg have a rest. It stretches to the front, and then we're gonna lengthen and work this bottom leg. Begin. So again, just make sure that heel is trying to reach up towards the ceiling, so that side of that foot is opened up. We don't want your toe to be facing the ceiling. In other words, it's the heel that faces the ceiling. upper body is relaxed, and this one is all about just this bottom leg working isolation through that inner thigh. Doing a great job. We are toning this lower half of the body, always staying aware of your core, teaching that stability and strength. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Let's come up onto your hands and knees. We'll set your alignment first. So those hands are directly underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. There might be a space between those knees. We're gonna be moving into opposite arm and leg, adding a crunch. So let's extend your opposite arm and leg, and then exhale, crunch it in. Ready, begin. So inhale, lengthen, exhale, crunch. And we're really focusing on those abs the entire time. So they'll crunch when the elbow and knee meet together, but they're also on when you lengthen out because we're working on your balance the whole time. So just making sure that you've got this nice controlled movement here. We have about 5 more seconds on this side. 3, 2, 1. We're switching sides and begin. Now, if this is a little too advanced for you, let's just say that the balance isn't quite working or it's just not feeling right, feel free to just focus on the leg portion of this exercise where you would keep your hands down and just focus on the leg extension with the core activation. Otherwise, we're really jumping it up here to that core activation and lengthening, so you're working that entire back side of the body with the core. 2, 1, and rest. And we are ready to start our cool down. We're gonna start with corpse pose. So you are laying on your back, and just let the palms face open, those feet kind of just drop open here, and I just want you to melt into the floor and focus on relaxing breaths here. And just take note of how your body feels. We've worked that body so well, specifically that core and the legs. You should feel like you've worked, but you should still feel like you have a little bit of energy, like your body is just really strengthened and pumped up. And now it's time just to start to relax. We'll be stretching out the muscles that we used and keep focusing on relaxing breaths. Now we're gonna be pulling the knees in towards your chest. So pulling those knees all the way in, we're gonna go into a spine stretch. So what we'll do is just kind of open those arms a little bit, keeping that chest open. We'll let those knees drop over to one side. So we're gonna let them drop all the way down. This should feel really nice on your back. And so just let those legs drop to the floor. Don't feel like you have to hold anything up. This should be a very enjoyable stretch. Now let's just say that you don't like how much those knees are tucked in. Just feel free to kind of lengthen those legs back. Or if you want a deeper back stretch, you can always pull those knees closer to the hand and really increase your stretch. So just find the right positioning for you. Your head and shoulders are relaxed, melted into the floor. Now before we switch sides, engage your core, pick up those legs, and then we'll come to the other side to enjoy the stretch on the other side. And just remember, you can relax these legs. Don't feel like you have to hold them up. If the opposite arm is lifting away from the floor at all, just find a comfortable position. Your shoulders will start to release a little bit more, and you should be getting a nice, comfortable chest stretch while also in this lower back and hip spine stretch. And again, relaxing breaths, just really enjoying our cool down here. Our next stretch is called child's pose. We'll be coming onto the hands and knees to begin. And I want to take those knees really wide. It's a little bit wider than your shoulders or your hips, and then you'll be sitting back towards your heels and then lengthen those arms away. So you're just gonna rest your head down, your arms are reaching away from your body. And this is a great one for stretching your low back and your hips, maybe even your shoulders. So again, just let yourself relax into the floor. Release your muscles. Don't feel like you have to hold yourself up. Focusing on your breathing. Now take your time. We're gonna come up to standing, and our final stretches will be for the neck. So we're gonna be tucking the chin. So staying upright and just a gentle tuck of the chin towards your chest, and this is lengthening the back side of your neck. Eyes are looking down. Head is heavy. Now gently pull it back up. And now you're gonna look over your right shoulder. So your body will not twist with your head. You're just gently looking over that shoulder. The shoulders stay down, chest stays open. You should feel a gentle stretch on the side of your neck. And now gently bring the head back to center, and then we'll look the other way. So same thing, just keep those shoulders down, they're heavy. Getting a gentle stretch through your neck. So focusing on your breathing here, just let those shoulders drop. Gently bringing the head back to center. This time you're gonna let the ear come down towards the shoulder. So remember, the shoulder does not come up to meet the ear. The shoulders still stay heavy, they're down, but we're just stretching that neck, allowing that ear, almost like that ear is really heavy and it's just pulling down towards the shoulder. Bring it back up to center, and now we'll go to the other side. So remember, those shoulders stay down, and that ear just drops down towards that shoulder as if that ear is heavy and just pulling you down. And bringing that head up, and you are all done. You're doing a great job at improving your body's health and longevity. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.